Blessings, everybody. Thank you for stopping by. Today is another unusual chat with your boy Raleigh. This is Jamaica. It's now 8:01 p.m. and the temperature is about 28 degrees Celsius. And I'm from all the way in Clarendon. And tonight we'll be talking about the fish room ventilation and the whole idea of temperature indoors, outdoors, my fan system, a whole lot. Okay, before I start to talk about all that I set out to talk about, let's just put certain things in perspective. Okay, I don't have a fish room, right? And tonight I'll explain to you the fundamentals as to the reason why I don't have a fish room. Two, you'll notice that I have actually gone well, I have not been online for a week. Monday, Wednesdays, and Friday mornings. I said that I will be on from 6 to 7 a.m. Now, based on certain things that I'm trying to adjust on my channel, I'm trying to see what works for my audience, what doesn't work for my audience. I am kind of like, looking at the best. Hey, what on, Ron? Nice senior boss. Yeah, tonight we're talking about ventilation system. But before I start talking about ventilation system, I just doing a little housekeeping matter. Nice senior brother. Enough respect. What time is it where you're at, Ron? All right. Meanwhile, you actually type that in the chat. Yeah. So for the time being, I will be completing my series on algae. And my series on algae comes out about 5 p.m. standard time every single day until it ends, right? I think I have about 4 more pieces left. Oh, it's 6:30 a.m. Wow, it's very early. It's practically 8:03 in Jamaica. All right. I hope you'll be able to spend the next few minutes with me as we talk about a little bit about having that fish room, having ventilation system, how you do certain things, advantages and disadvantages. That's my main thing. All right. So going forward, right? I will be having my live still on Saturday night. I won't be having any lives during the week in the mornings, right? For now, right? I'll be doing more projects and more fun stuff with regard to my channel. Okay, all right, cool run. All right, so I have actually achieved my second goal on YouTube. One was to actually reach the 1,000 subscriber. Two was to monetize, and three, I am aiming for my third one, which is to have practical fun doing this thing called YouTube and involve my fish keeping friends. Now, my channel will not lose focus. My channel will not be changed to something else now that I have been monetized. It will stay same focus. However, there will be some section that just help you to get that humor out, right? Like my share that I'm planning next. It should be really interested. Not the one that's coming out after the algae series. Also, I have actually rescheduled my videos going forward after the algae series. Going forward, my videos won't be out consecutively each day. I realized that in studying my analytics, in studying my YouTube, my page and all that, how persons watch my videos, I realized that a lot of things need to be adjusted. So I am trying to work that in, right? I am not a prof as far as studying the metadata and the algorithms and how it's actually working for individual. Well, I want to fish by Mike. Nice senior boss. All right. Today I'm talking about fish room ventilation. Right. But before I go into that, I'm just talking a little bit about my way forward. All right. So I have several projects that are lined up for the rest of this year. Now that I'm monetized, that's like the back burner for me. I can a little bit more relax. I can concentrate on other things that I never normally concentrate on. A lot of energy have been gone into actually doing those videos, connecting with people. My connection is still be there, but you'll mostly see me on other individuals' channel rather than have collaboration. The collaborative series that you normally see me have, like the one with algae. That will be like I don't have much of that plan for the rest of this year. I think I have one more plan, but that's later on in the year, in which I'll be communicating with individuals that are within the fish keeping family, and we will be going through that. But that's later in the year. For now, it's all about projects. Now, I was talking to my son. I must tell you, tonight stream fish room ventilation, because there are so much information, so much things to actually share, right? Fish by Mike, I might go over my 60 minutes. When I say I might go over my 60 minutes, you know that Saturday nights, persons have family nights and all that. So they plan, okay, they're gonna be doing this, gonna be that, and that. Tonight I'm gonna be probably a little bit more as I go forward, right? All right. So let's go into as I remember what I some of the housekeeping matters. I might just pause a little bit to actually share what I remember with you, right? But for the time being, let's go to what I actually plan to discuss tonight. Now, um, as I said before, I do not have a fish room, right? I have a space, and you can see it behind me. I have 6 aquariums on a rack, 4 on the shelf, and 2 on the floor, right? The creation of a fish room and the highlighting of these spaces, I know what I call a common feature on social media, such as on this platform. Points to note, YouTube is not the only social media platform in which you actually see persons showcasing their aquariums, right? You have places like Instagram, you have Facebook, you have persons doing this thing on different platforms. I don't know all of them, right? I'm just familiar with Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube right now. Somehow I discovered that not much talk is being made about fish room ventilation and setup. Now, my little rack here that has 4 aquariums have been actually installed near my window within my dining room. So this is my dining room, right? So whenever I'm doing water change, like the other day I was doing some water change, and I kind of slightly forgot, and the water kind of spill over on the floor, and it was a lot of work, right? Okay. Whenever I am trying to get that right space for my aquariums, I have to ensure that several things are in play. Now, I discovered that a lot of fish rooms have ventilation issues, setup issues. Persons jump into creating a fish room and they don't really think about fish room ventilation. That's my emphasis for tonight. All right. Now, I spent a few minutes on this, and you can share your thoughts as to how how you consider what is being shared. Now, so you might be saying, why talk about something that I'm not myself in position of, or something that I am managing, right? Well, all being mentioned tonight are factors which have halted my dreams, right? For many years, because I have actually hoped for, and I at one point in time I was thinking of getting a fish room for myself, right? But after considering some of the things that I have to have into consideration, it's like on the back bench right now. Okay, so let's give you a visual imagery of what exists here in Jamaica. Now, the country of Jamaica is a small island, right? It's about 250 something miles long, and about half of that miles wide, right? It is located in the tropics. So we experience what you call tropical marine climate. The tropics is divided up into about 4 different climatic zones. We have the tropic equatorial, tropic marine, tropic continental, and tropical monsoon, right? So hey, Gary Allen, nice seeing you, boss. Nice seeing you. Respect. Thanks for popping in, brother. Cool. All right. So Jamaica is located between 20 to 24 degrees. It depends on which book you look into. It might vary, but I know that it's above 20 20 degrees north, right? Okay, so Jamaica has two distinct seasons, right? I'm getting into the meat of the matter. I know. Let's hear me a little bit, right? Okay, Jamaica have two distinct seasons, right? One they call it the wet season, which is considered the rainy season, and this is between June to I think it's June 1st to November the 30th, right? That's the rainy season. The same time what they call the hurricane season. And they also have what you call a dry season, or what person say is the hot period in Jamaica, right? And this is between December and about May thereabout, right? Okay, so during the wet season, the temperature rests between 28, like right now. We are going into the warmish season. It's not too well. We are being influenced by weather coming from North America, right? So therefore, we're having a lot of cold fronts these days, right? Okay, so Jamaica practically get the warm season between I don't know, probably about January, the end of January to about probably about May, thereabout. No, yeah, May, June, you might get some heat, and then you have some rain between July, the wet season. All right, cool. No, because Jamaica doesn't experience winter, right? Hey, Mr. Fishman, big boss, thank you for joining. We're talking about fish room ventilation, and probably you can help me in the discussion here, Fishman. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. I'm honored to have you in the room tonight. We're talking about ventilation of your fish room. Now, I live in Jamaica, and Jamaica houses are built out of um, cement, black steel cement. You might have some houses constructed with lumber, board, right? But those houses, those buildings are usually situated in the rural areas, right? So in the rural areas, you have houses built with board and all that, not much zinc, not much concrete, right? Cool. Now I had some aquariums. I know the lighting is not really 100% good in here. I'm working on it, and that's one of the reasons why I'm not doing a live in the mornings anymore. I'm trying to start out myself, but I won't disappoint those persons expecting the live and those persons who will pass through. So I'm ensuring that I've prepared for tonight's discussion. We're talking about ventilation. Okay, so I had about four aquariums in my house, right? And because the house itself is made up of concrete. Now I have concrete house top, concrete walls, windows, and doors, right? Now I leave my yard. Well, I guess Fishman. Although it's a little bit cold to have I call it now ventilation, but I guess you still have some mechanism to get the air that exists. I don't remember what they call it. The air that exists within the room, so it's like a circulatory air, so as to get the air that exists. Because remember, as we all learn that every equipment that exists within the fish room, and I'm going to talk about this a little bit later. Every equipment that exists within the fish room um, generate heat, and if the heat goes unchecked, right? I know where you're getting at, Fishman. If the heat goes unchecked, it will actually affect our fish room, right? But I know where you're getting it. But bear me a little bit. Now in Jamaica, what happened is that the sun pelts on the concrete, and this is one of the reasons why places like in Canada and in America and some other sections of the world, they mostly use dry, dry, drywall and lumber to manufacture the buildings, because concrete kind of acts as an insulator for both heat and cold. So if the place is too cold, the concrete will actually, the cement, the wall, concrete, the block will actually I call it now, it will actually hold the heat and the cold. So therefore, gradually will release it, but it will be, detrimental to those persons that might, that whatever you have in there, For example, if you're in a house in, let's say, North America right now, let's say in Brooklyn, where I'm normally at, right? And it's snowing cats and dogs, right? And if my house is made up of 100% concrete with little or no, what I call it? With little or no, I call it heater, and not like that. What will happen is that I will actually freeze to death, right? Yes, with a heater, it shouldn't be a problem. No, the thing in Jamaica, right, is the flip side, right? Whenever it is like raining, a lot of rain is falling, right? What you find is that the house gets cool, and it's like, in the aquarium, the water is okay for the fish, but what you call it, during the warmer period, right? During the warmer period, during the, let's say, yeah, during like probably about uh, June, May, when the time is a little bit warm, what you find is that the place is really hot inside. Now I have to go to work, my wife have to go to school to work also, and my kids have to go to school, right? So when the house is like locked up, the house is locked up. One second. When the house is locked up, what you find is that the heat is bottled up inside of the house, and with my fish tank, right, my fish tank inside, several times I've actually experienced where in which my fish actually dies because, yeah, my fish. I bought, I think I bought about six. It cost me a pretty penny. Six blue dolphin cichlids, and place them in my aquarium, have them inside. I'm actually growing them because they're delicate. I can't put them in the pond system. I'm fixing up an aquarium to put them into have a showpiece tank, and they were expensive, right? And after about a week, they actually died, right? I had two, they died, so I thought that probably I did something wrong. I got two more, I placed them there, same situation, they died. And after I got the sixth one, right, I decided I'm not gonna spend any more money getting any more blue dolphin. That's it. Fish that cannot be stored in outside in my pond system, I don't keep them, right? So as a result, I do not keep blue dolphin, right? Yeah. I love those fish, especially when they get they have the hump on the head looking good. All right, so I've experienced that being here in Jamaica, because the house acts as an insulator. So therefore, the temperature is a little bit thrown off, especially when I am not here. The house is closed up, right? My veranda, or should I say my front porch or my back porch, is not accommodative to my fish space because I have stray dogs and stray cats. Yeah, in Jamaica, it's not like in some sections of the world where you have animals be staying by where they're supposed to be staying. You have stray animals. They actually go around and they mess with your stuff. And being it that aquariums are normally shallow in comparison to my ponds, I am not too liking keeping my aquarium outdoors, right? Well, you could keep your aquarium outdoor with covers, and I'm kind of tardy in that having covers on my aquariums. I'm not too loving that. Well, my aquarium reached probably about I really with Celsius. Really with Celsius, not Fahrenheit. My aquarium temperature is like 36, 37 when the house is locked up, right? And if you actually calculate that in Fahrenheit, you're getting something like probably about 85, 87, right? Going up there, right? So it's really warm inside. So as a result of that, sorry, my fish actually suffers when they are inside. Now, right now in Jamaica, we are experiencing a little bit of cold front coming from North America. So the cold air coming from North America is blowing over the Caribbean, like it's going back to like Africa side. It's not reaching Africa because it's condensing as it move up, right? So therefore we are getting a lot of rain. Like today we got a lot of rainfall. So yeah, that's really hot, brother. Really hot, right? So you can imagine inside is that hot, but outside is not that hot. Because what happened is that during the day, what happened, the sun, especially that the midday sun, it beats on the concrete, so the place is really, really hot, right? And my aquarium water, when I come home sometime in the evening and I touch the water, it feels as if the water is like lukewarm. That's how warm the water is, right? Ah, come on, boss. No, no, no. I don't. I would. I would love to have a saltwater aquarium, but one, there's not the availability. Well, there's the availability of saltwater fish in pet store is zero, right? The setup is also zero. Whilst you might find some pet shop might sell some equipment for saltwater aquarium, it's not that popular, right? So I just do what I do with what I have. So I just keep fresh water fish, and that's just where I'm at as far as being in Jamaica. Now, if I was in a different state, a different province, meaning a different country where saltwater aquarium, I can get the equipment, I can get the setup being there. I would probably venture into that, and I think I might, yeah, if I get the opportunity, I would want a reef tank. I'd probably buy a few flags. I would do my research. I would get my thing up and running, and I would do a reef tank. But the thing is, that is just not available in Jamaica. So I'm just doing with what doing what I have right now. Right. So you all know that every fish comes with a specific. Hey, what my brother from another mother? Big up yourself. Yeah, 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 yeah. Ultimate fish keeping. Ultimate fish keeping show. Ultimate fish keeping. Wagwan boss. Nice seeing you. All right. Tonight we're talking about ventilation. Within a fish room with a fish space, right? Okay. So Fishman, I don't know if he's still here, but he said that where is that? It's very cold, so therefore, having some amount of vent where is that probably would influence him being frozen to death, right? But I guess you have what you call centralized heating systems, right? That persons actually employ so as to ensure that the system actually keep the right temperature. Yeah, cool. Wow, wow. Yeah, wow. Ronde, I'm loving that. I'm loving that. I'm loving that. I'm loving that. And I'm gonna have you actually done any videos on that, Ronji? Because I'm gonna be checking out your channel as soon as I'm finished here, so as to actually look at that system. And for those persons who have not yet checked out Ronji, you can do that. Remember, we stay connected whenever we meet on live stream because we actually share our ideas. Um, I've shared on several streams and several videos that I am not the fountain of knowledge. I do make mistakes, and I'm just throwing out ideas and strategies as to how we can make fish keeping an awesome hobby and learning from each other, create a good space in which our fish will actually thank us for. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Expected because presently, right now, and one of the reasons why I actually keep ponds instead of aquariums. Now I have 28 plus systems. When I say plus system, I'm talking about the whole idea of having some small containers in which I do specialized breeding. For example, I'm trying to breed some betas right now, right? So I don't really count those in my 28 systems. But I have 28 systems plus 6 aquariums, right? Probably about 3 or 4 other small containers on the side in which I'm doing some specialized breeding, right? I have spiders actually making their web over these systems and making it's just so cute seeing them right now. What the spider does is actually catches the mosquitoes and other insects that comes to the water to actually yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna check out that Ranjay, and if you have not checked out Ranjay as yet, guys, check him out. He has a vast knowledge on fish keeping. It's not his first on my channel sharing his ideas and thoughts, so I value his opinion, and I value your opinion also, right? I appreciate that. Okay, so let's get to what some persons are saying. Yes, yes, ultimate feet. Yes, yes. Brother from another mother. Big up yourself, my boy. Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right, cool. And I'm looking forward to that series you are having. I mean, the series in which you're having. You had a promo the other day, right? Ultimate Fishing Keeping Show. All right. Yes, yes, that's true. That's true. And what I realized too, Ranji, I'm coming back to my ventilation system, but we talk off tangent sometimes we go off and but it's all focused on good fish keeping. Cooper Aquatics, nice seeing you. All right. Um, what I realized is that, Ron, is that my Jaguar cichlid, which is in my small, probably about 40-gallon garden pond by himself, because he actually mowed his female counterpart to death. So I removed them from my 250-gallon tote and I placed him into a small space. I placed my Jack Dempsey in his tote and they have actually bred. So I'm gonna have to actually extract the fries. But that's a different story, right? I realized that he's not eating when I'm feeding him. And I realized that insects do come to that pond and they actually partake. And he actually partake of, have a live meal, a live feed, right? So as a result of that, he's not really consuming his food in which I'm feeding him. So I'm having to actually change water on a regular basis, right? Boss, cool, cool. I get it. All right, Ronji, what is your channel's name? Just type it in the chat for me, please. Ronji. All right, cool. All right. Temperature control is the key. And that's true. All right, well, Rara, is it that you actually measure by Celsius or you measure by Fahrenheit? Because, persons get confused when you say like probably 0 to 45, is it like Celsius or is it like Fahrenheit? For example, in America they use Fahrenheit, and I think in Canada also, in Jamaica we use Celsius. So our temperature, the cool temperature that you will find, like for example, during the December period, we experience like a 24, 26 degrees Celsius, probably 28. In spaces like in Mandeville, Manchester, you might experience okay, it's Gary Allen. You could just copy paste Ron J's name just as is in the chat. Just copy it and paste it. You open YouTube, a different thing, right? And paste it, and you will see his channel actually pops up. I think I popped in there once or twice before, right? Okay. The thing these days is because I'm so busy. I normally treat a lot of persons video shares like a radio thing in which I have it playing why probably I be teaching a class and I be looking dancing looking, yeah, I know it's a bad habit, but having a class online, I might be watching and sometimes I might go on to the next video, so I am like not forget I am like forgetting to actually write a comment which would actually make it visible that I was there. Well, Cooper, I'm going to be doing some stickers this year, so you can look out for that probably in a few months' time. When I say months, I mean like give me about 3 months. Right now, I'm kind of trying to sort out certain dynamics as to YouTube itself. I'm trying to get my lighting right for my stream, and I'm just trying to fix up a lot of things. So as soon as I get certain things sorted out, the stickers will be forthcoming, the merchandise will be coming, and all that. So you will see me in okay, cool. Right. All right. So Ron J, Gary Allen have actually found your channel. And I'll be going at it as soon as this stream has been completed. Wow. It's roughly 30 minutes in the stream, and I'm yet to actually dig deep into what I'm about to actually, well, what I'm actually sharing, right? So I'm sharing with you that unlike in Europe and North America, we're in which you have seasonal variation. You know, you have spring, you have spring, summer, autumn, and winter, right? In Jamaica, you have the hot time and you have the cool time. Not cold, cool. Meaning when I say cool, I mean like wet season, like a lot of rainfall, right? I think it was 2 days ago. The persons who actually supply domestic water supply to homes and businesses, right, domestic and commercial, actually warned us that this year we're gonna have a lot of water restriction because it is projected that we will have a kind of drought period this year similar to last year. Now, what comes with drought period, right? Okay, it's in Celsius. Okay, cool, cool, cool. It's in Celsius. All right, cool. So what comes with dry period is that you have a lot of heat. With heat comes a lot of issues. These issues include a lot of algae in your aquarium, yeah, right? Because yeah, a lot of algae in your aquarium, and you find that it's a lot of issues, right? A lot of algae in the aquarium, and with the heat also come a decrease in the amount of oxygen within your aquarium. So for those persons who did not know, yeah, man, Jamaica is close to the equator. All right, so point to note: warm water holds less oxygen than cold water. I see because warm water holds less oxygen than cold water, it's important that you keep your fish rooms or your fish space properly ventilated with a correct temperature, centralized system at the right temperature, because you don't want to restrict the oxygen that exists within your aquarium itself. Now you might say, but I am already filtering my aquarium, right? So whether or not the room is warm, that shouldn't be a here or there factor. The thing is, you're filtering the aquarium, but what happens is that with the warm water, it restricts the amount of oxygen that exists in the water. So as a result of that, air is in the aquarium, but your fish might just find it difficult to utilize that air because not much oxygen is within that. It kind of sounds kind of weird, but it's a reality, right? Now, I'm gonna delve a little bit more in that a little bit, as I touch on fish like goldfish and koi. It's a little bit down there in the stream. So bear with me a little bit. As I said before, I might go over the 60 minutes, but bear with me a little bit as I try to roughly explain myself. Right. All right. So Jamaica is between what I call it, 20 to about probably 24 degrees, um 24 degrees above the equator, above Celsius, right? So Jamaica is from between 20 to 24 degrees north of the equator, right? It experiences a lot of sunshine, right? It doesn't experience seasonal variation, so therefore you don't get snow at even at the coolest point in Jamaica, the coolest point in Jamaica, which should be, I think, is the Blue Mountain, which is about 2,600 or 700, a little bit above sea level, right? So Jamaica is a warm space to be. So that's one of the reasons why a lot of persons love to come to Jamaica, especially during the December era, December time of the year, where the time is a little bit, it's cool, but it is not as cold as, let's say, sections of North America, probably Canada, and sections of Europe, right? Because Jamaica doesn't experience winter, extreme cold temperature. The buildings are primarily constructed of concrete, right? Now, there are a few wooden houses, as I said before, in rural areas, and remember, drywall and wooden houses, wooden constructed buildings don't hold heat nor cold, but concrete does. Now I've actually experienced this. I coming in from work, I'm in the AC in the car, feeling cool, and like I come into the house before I actually open the window, between the door and the switch. I'm like bursting with sweat because the house is like a heat wave actually hit me in the face, right? Because inside is really warm. I mean, like touching the aquarium, as I said before, the water is like lukewarm, right? Now, in nature, in nature, well, you must understand that it has a way of taking care of the creatures that exist there, right? So you find the polar bears that lives in the polar region, they actually have thick furs, which help them to go through cold period. And that's one of the reasons why you could not have a polar bear living in, let's say, in Jamaica, right? The polar bear will die from heat, right? Now, you might say, how this relates to ventilation? No, because Jamaica doesn't experience winter, right? They experience, I call it, an average between 30 to 34 degrees Celsius, practically on a daily basis. In Christmas, you might get about probably about 24, 26. That's the coldest point, right? The buildings are called, exist as what you call it. The big building acts like an insulator for the heat, right? As the sun pelts on the building, the inside of the building get warm. So aquarium fish species will die. Now you might say that you could leave one of the windows open and allow the warm air to escape during the course of the day. But you don't really want anybody to invade your privacy within your home. It's not like the system here is different from probably where you're at, right? The instances of home invasion is probably a little bit more than where you're at. So therefore, so as to avoid home invasion, when I say home invasion, I mean like break-ins, right? And Jamaicans will call it and broke your house, right? I've actually suffered that already. When they actually broke into my house and they, strangely enough, they took some of my aquarium equipment. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. All right. So your house have a grill on it, and probably you not even know what's a grill, right? But your house have grill on it, and it has a window, and everything is kept locked unless your here is open, which allows air out, cool air in. So therefore, the air is a little bit more conducive to aquariums, aquarium livestock, or whatever you might refer to it as, right? Now, some aquarium fish can actually survive in extreme cold conditions. However, I am yet to find aquarium fish that can actually be accommodated in very warm conditions, right? And as much as it might seem minor, but having a ventilation system that actually takes out the warm air out of your fish room or actually circulates the air out of your fish room actually help to maintain your fish stock that exists within your aquarium space, right? Because as I said before, warm air, once the air outside is warm, right, it is going to end up impact. It's going to end up impact. Yes, my was well, my subject, rara, my subject in it, I never really too fancy about was maths, right? As you can hear from, well, I'm kind of going off topic here, but as it talk about school, my son and I was actually having a conversation the other day, right? And my son said to me, my son, hey, Mary Face, nice seeing you, right? Nice seeing you, Mary. Nice seeing you, Mary. All right, cool. Now, my son said to me, Daddy, your channel is rich with content, but you're dealing with your channel as if you're teaching a class. You need to have a little bit more fun with your audience and with what you're sharing so that person's finding it fun to watch. And that's a little bit difficult for me to actually, conceptualize in my brain. How can I have fun with information that actually comes out as, you're sharing something that person should be like, yeah, okay, all right, I could, instead of, doing something that's entertaining that have people laughing, probably at the end of the laughing, probably they might not, comprehend, or probably they might not really put thoughts in it as to what I'm actually saying. So it's a little bit difficult going from one phase to the next. But that's what one thing that I'm working on with my channel, to let it not only be one in which I share information and experiments, but I also make it fun for persons to listen. Ah, yes, Mary Page. I know. Greetings. Thanks for joining me on my street. So we're talking about ventilation. Now, probably where you're at, ventilation is not a problem. Probably you have actually thought of the process. Think of the process as to how you're going to be placing what, where, and how, and all that. But for persons considering fish room, like for example, I know for a fact, several persons in Jamaica, they're actually in tune with my channel right now, and they're actually following me. They want some aquariums, they want a fish room. As a matter of fact, some of them have aquariums, and they place the aquariums in spaces that I probably would not place my aquarium, because when you actually think about the whole idea of the placement of the aquarium, the ventilation that is needed within that space, with the addition of aquarium lights, with the addition of, the equipment that you're using a very big pump, and you're in a small room, the pump generates heat, the light generates heat, plus the concrete is actually holding the heat from the sun, pelting on the building, so all that heat is like converging on the aquarium, that is resulting in the aquarium water getting warm, and as the aquarium getting warm, it's like it's restricting the amount of oxygen flow within the aquarium. So there's a whole amount of chemistry that is actually working there that persons need to consider before actually going off as to say, okay, I'm gonna be doing a fish room, this is what I need to do, right? So that's one of the reasons why I actually install a few ponds, because with my ponds, as I was saying not too long ago, um, goldfish and koi and carps, they do well in extreme cold temperature, right? Extreme cold temperature. All you need to do is have an agitator or aeration device or aerator within the aquarium, because when water freezes, it expands, and if you have your aquarium actually freezing, the glass is going to break, right? So I wouldn't say aquarium, I would say a pond system, right? So you need a pond with a aerated device or equipment that actually have the water moving. So although the water is cool, but it's moving, right? What your goldfish, your carp, and your koi does is that when the water starts to get very cold, it goes through a moment of what they call hibernation. Just like how the bears actually goes through a process called, I know I'm kind of going off topic, but you'll see where it actually leads to with regards to the ventilation, right? Okay, all right. So during this period, right, where the water is actually getting very cold, there's a lot of oxygen in the water, right? The koi and the goldfish and the carp actually stores before it starts to get cold. They know that they're going to go through this, that's in the wild or in the pond system. If they do have a pond system that they go through this each year, they know that they're going to go through this phase. So just before the time starts to get cold, you realize that your goldfish and your carp start to eat a lot. When they start to eat a lot, they start to develop fat, right? And the fat provides them with the energy that they need during the winter period or during the cold period. So during the cold period, you're not supposed to feed them any at all, right? So they sit there in the water. You just want to know that the water is not freezing, that they can't move, right? They will sit there in the pond for probably about 3 months. Yeah, they will sit there and they will not consume anything. If you try to feed them, it breaks their cycle and they might actually die, because it breaks their cycle and then now, you know, because you're feeding them, and the whole idea of the water being cold and the beneficial bacteria and all that, you know, everything is just not working as how it should, because they're now being fed. I mean, poop is in the water, right? With the ice and all that, and the beneficial bacteria and all that, you find that everything is just out of whack. So the goldfish will actually, or the carp, if you try to feed it at that point in time, it will end up with some health issues immediately after the water. Well, to some extent, I think some research shows that it happens during that period, but you know, it's like rapid right after the water have actually thawed out. But that's a different thing, right? Um, so I'm talking about ventilation system. I'm going back to where I'm at, right? Now, water that is warm don't hold that amount of oxygen as water that is cold. And you know, I spoke to this not too long ago regards to oxygen in the koi and the carp and the goldfish pond, right? So you don't have to worry about that. You just need a de-icer, a aerator, or something that will keep the water moving. All right. So let's get on topic. All right. So the backdrop for this discussion is underpinning the whole situation in Jamaica, right? Jamaica don't get snow, right? So we don't need a de-icer. Jamaica get some heat, which makes you want to get naked and walk up and down, probably in your house or in your yard, shouting while the rain don't come, right? That sounds funny, right? Now, with aquariums indoor, the concrete buildings insulate the heat from the sun throughout the day, and in the nights, some persons they're weird, right? Some persons what they do before they go in, they will like and it works. They will like take the hose and they will you know, spray the hose on the building, and what the hose does, it actually cools down the building, and then when they go in, it's a little bit more cooler. Some persons they will come in and they will actually open all the windows for probably about an hour or two, and warm air will actually go out. And because outside it's cooler than inside, the cold air comes in, so therefore you feel as if, you know, there's a balance, right? And this is how it is in Jamaica, to be frank, right? With regards to the air circulation in your house, especially meaning that, you know, you have, and one of the reasons why we actually have concrete house top is that yeah, concrete house top. We don't have shingles. Well, where am I? Some persons do have shingles, some persons do have those little fancy stuff on the house top. But because Jamaica is in the tropics, and you know that between June and November the 30th, we experience what they call hurricane season. You know, hurricane is nothing to play around with. You don't want the hurricanes to actually blow off the roof of your house, right? So as a result of that, you put on a concrete house top, and with the concrete house top comes heat, right? And you might say, but you cannot place you know, AC within your where you're at. But I'm coming to that in a bit, right? Now, in the premise that you well, let's get to the AC part before. No, Jamaica is dependent on oil being imported from overseas to make fuel, right? Jamaica trade using US dollar, US currency. Just recently, I think it's since night, the trade was 151 Jamaican dollars for $1 US. So if something costs 100 US dollars, you're gonna have to times that times $151. So to be frank, it would be about probably about for 100 American dollars, it would be probably. Yes, 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 Mary. Yes, yes, Mary. Yes, yes, yes. Ultimate fish keeping show. Fish keeping. All right. Okay. So if you want to change 100 US dollars to Jamaican dollars, right? You go to wherever and you're gonna change that, you will actually get 15,100 and some dollars change, right? $15,000, right? For 100 US dollars. Okay, cool. So put all that in perspective now as far as the energy costing. Now, some persons would want to actually say, hey, I'm going to place some AC within my house so as to allow my aquariums to stay cool. All right. With air condition comes additional burden on the electricity bill. With electricity bill expanding, that means the disposable income for other issues, expenses within the home, that will actually decrease. And because you want to keep your disposable income a little bit more, a little bit, you want to maintain at a certain level, right? You want to cut down on your expenses such as your water and your light, right? Because the whole internet, the phone, all of that is at a certain rate that it doesn't move. So you pay a set rate at each month. So therefore, every month you pay like $100 for your phone and your internet service. That's a deal. That's what we use, right? We don't use like every day you have invariable rate for your phone bill. All right. Now, because AC is so expensive, right? The use of fans might work. However, on the flip side of that, fans are not really that much reliable in circulating air within a fish room as would, let's say, an open vent or let's say an AC unit being placed within a channel within that given space. You don't want your aquariums to have that temperature that that will restrict the flow of oxygen within the aquarium itself. Remember that the circulation of oxygen, right, within outside, right, can be restricted also, right? So you yourself might end up having a problem if the place is too warm, right? It's important to note that if the aquarium water gets too warm, not only are aquatic creatures affected, but also plants. Plants will start to wither, lose leaf, die, fail to grow as a result of increase in temperature. Having a ventilation system within your fish room, what it does, it offers the opportunity for the air that is warm, that is generated by the different equipment within your room. For example, I have 6 aquariums and I practice having independent filtration system for each of my aquariums, right? Some persons might disagree, but I feel that that's the best way to actually get my aquariums running healthy and properly. So if one of my aquarium pumps stop working, I don't have to put my hand on my jaw, right? Because one aquarium pump runs everything, right? I can actually do some little thing there and get a share between one pump with several aquarium systems. But for the time being, one aquarium has one pump system. Now, each pump system generates heat, right? Now, the heat generated, although so minute, although so small, everything combines together along with the insulated heat that comes from the concrete, the building itself. Now, as a result, of that, what you find that the temperature within the room in which you keep your fish will actually be, it start get warm. And when it start get warm, the outside temperature is warm, right? The inside temperature is going to get warm also. Regardless of you having good filtration system, good substrate, plants there, you have lights. Oh, lights is another thing. The lights also contributes to heat, right? So with all of that in play, what you find the water start getting warm, right? When the water start getting warm, you find that the fish now start to lose the slime that exists on its body. When the fish start losing the slime on its body, what you find is that you find some parasites and bacteria that is harmful to the fish do well in very warm conditions, right? So the parasite that lurks in that aquarium space, right? And that parasite and bacteria actually comes from the poop or the waste that exists within the aquarium. right? So as it metastasizes, as it starts to multiply, right, with the increasing amount of slime that exists on the fish, what you find that those parasites and bacteria now swarms the fish, and the fish actually becomes infected or gets sick and die, right? All coming from as a result of the lack of ventilation within your fish room space. Now, it's easy for you to say that I have a system that is running and a centralized system, nice filtration, whether you have a sump, whether you have independent filtration system like me, you have canister filter, all of that. But if the air is not circulated properly within that space, your fish will die. Your fish, your aquarium fish, you spend thousands of dollars for them, they're gonna die. Now, it is on this premise, right? That I personally started to keep fish outside in barrels and barrels and totes, right? I got flacked and teased by some persons saying that I don't have ponds, I have buckets and I have whatever. And ponds are not like that, ponds are this and ponds like that, right? For me, persons call it toads, persons call it toad pond, persons call it tubs, whatever you call it. I keep my fish outdoors, right? And keeping my fish outdoor is several risks. I mean, the other day I went out to feed my fish, and I saw, and you can look at this on the internet. I saw a mongoose actually in one of my ponds. It's as if he fell in and he found it difficult to come out. Now, I was so surprised at this. I should have actually got my thing and I videotaped, but I didn't. I was so, you know, perturbed about the situation. I was trying to get him out. A mongoose is a thing where if you don't want to bite you, it's worse than a rat, right? A mongoose can actually spread leptospirosis and other infectious disease, right? Mongoose was actually brought to Jamaica in the earlier years to get rid of snakes that were on sugar plantation because the sugar plantation had so many snakes that they got mongoose so as to control the population of the snakes. No problem, boss. Yeah, man, me know. I heard in the morning, probably about minute after one, after two. Yeah, man, me understand. Big up yourself, boss. Big up yourself. And I'm looking forward to that series, right? Looking forward to that series, my boss. Yeah, man. No problem, boss. It's the ultimate fish keeping show. He has been trying to talk patois, you know. But you see, whenever I try to talk patois, whenever I talk patois, persons say that they can't understand what I'm saying. So I try my very best to speak the vernacular, the English vernacular. You know, I try to pronounce or enunciate the the English vernacular, the English language, right, as best as possible, so that my audience can understand, right? Alright, so um, surprisingly, I thought that I would have gone over probably about 10 minutes or so, but it seems as if I'm right on point, right? I'm right on point with regards to my discussion now. With my ponds outside, right? I was talking about the mongoose. So the mongoose was inside of my pond. No, I had a big piece of lumber trying to freak him out, but he made a sound there. I was like scared, not like well, I was scared, right? And so I went for the hose and I started to pump water in the pond. Now, what the water does, the water right allow the water in the pond to actually increase. So as the water increased, the mongoose was swimming at the top, trying to get out, but couldn't get out. When it reached a particular level, the mongoose just jumped over. I turned off the pipe, and that was it. But I was really scared, right? Because I never want that to bite me. I mean, that's total infection there, right? Remember, mongoose is not a pretty thing, right? Alright. So with the advent of COVID-19, right, came the whole thing where I'm a teacher by profession, by the way, right? I've been teaching. This is my 24th year in actually being in the classroom. 24 years in the classroom, I'm wondering to myself if I actually, overdo it. Like I should be like retired now, right? But anyway, I'm there for the long haul. So I'm 24 years in the classroom. So there's no face-to-face class right now. So we are doing it virtually. So being virtual, being at home, my kids at home, my wife at home, working from home, all that, school and all that, right? Um, we have a better system. Well, I can have my aquariums indoor now. Even if it's the summer, I can have my aquariums indoor because the windows are open, the doors are open, and the ventilation is there. So therefore, my fish would not actually suffer with the excessive heat that might be embodied as a result of everything being closed, right? But being out with everything closed, the temperature will actually rise, and my fish, the ventilation system will actually be an issue, right? Where you're at, probably it is a little bit different. You might have a centralized heating system that keeps the heat within your home at a particular temperature. One must know, right, that the heat that exists within the outside of your aquarium, right, should not be in excess. I mean, it should not be warmer than the one that exists inside of the aquarium, right? So therefore, put in retrospect, the heat outside of the aquarium practically influences the temperature of your aquarium water, right? Even if you have a heater, it's a heater. What it says, a heater it's not something that you put into the water and then make your water get a little colder. It's there to let your water get a little warmer. So therefore, if your water drop at a certain temperature, you can put the heater there and it actually brings up to a certain level. However, if your water go up a particular level, you can't put the water heater there. Now you're gonna have to get something to cool on the water, right? One of the best way to cool on the water is to have a good ventilation system. And I think Aquafunk did this once, where he actually had a fan within a shed that he had outdoor with aquarium, right? Now it's really hectic at times, getting an aquarium, a fish room in Jamaica. It's really hectic. You have to be thinking about the pros and the cons. Talk about the bill, you're talking about the whole responsibility, ensuring that ventilation is there. You don't have the plants actually suffering as a result of the place getting too warm. You don't have to be worrying about the whole idea of rodents such as mongoose or any other creature coming over to actually get the stuff out of your pond, right? My ponds are not really that vulnerable anyway, right? But a fish room offers you the opportunity to actually adore your fish anytime you feel where I'm at right now, right? You're actually looking at my stock aquariums, right? I have four aquariums. I have four aquarium on this rock, right? Four aquarium. I have some peacocks at the top. I have some Malawian cichlids here. I have some angels here, and down below I have some black skirt tetra males. The females are outside getting fat for me to breed them as soon as the time kind of get a little warm because being it that you are well we are experienced cold front black skirt tetra will just not breed at this time. Hey boss! Okay, sir, okay. Yeah, man. Always expecting something from this guy. Yeah, man. You want me to hoops anyway? Right, Joe? Alright, cool, boss. Alright, yes. I think I'm going to bed. I think I'm going to bed. I think ultimate fish keeping show says that it's like minutes after 3 minutes after something. I saw it's very early in the UK. So he said that he will actually watch where he left off tomorrow because it's really cold. Right? Mary, I think Mary might be here still. She was here, she was sorting out everyone, right? Okay, I have just a little bit more to discuss with regard to ventilation. Now, Joe probably might have good ventilation system. Well, most persons even in North America will have central heating system and centralized AC system in the sense that they don't have to worry about ventilation system. You know, you have the air actually being relatively you know, endurable. Because what happened is that I know when I'm in Brooklyn, New York, there's this thing on the wall that they use to measure. Well, yeah, they used to measure what you call if I tell you, probably YouTube probably would block this video. But if I tell you how Jamaicans think about Valentine's Day, brother, you don't want to mention that. But anyway, respect and love, brother. One love to all, brother. Me not to it to no one. Love to all, love to all. Alright, happy day when it comes, boss. Yeah, cool. Alright, so in wrapping up, I said about 10 minutes over the 60 minutes. Alright, now, um, covering the aquarium can actually lead to issues within the aquarium because it can actually influence the aquarium water becoming warmer than usual. Right? A lot of persons do, and I said this in my stream where I shared about aquarium lights. Aquarium lights do contribute to the temperature that experience within your aquarium itself. Right? Mixed with the whole idea of the absence of, I call it now, the breeze, the natural breeze that blows on the top of the water of the aquarium that actually serve as a coolant to the water itself, right? You might find that your aquarium water can become a little warmer at times as a result of this missing element. This missing element I'm talking about is the wind. Now, we all know that, yeah, we all know uh, hey, Joe, you put me in a trouble, you know, boy. You are gonna put me in a trouble. Alright, alright, cool. Alright. So in wrapping up, Joe, in wrapping up, right? We're talking about the whole idea of the air generation in the fish space. You should provide the opportunity for your aquarium to actually breathe, right? Allow your aquarium to breathe. Now, you might say that it is minor, but it is important that sometimes you need to have a little hole within the aquarium cover so your aquarium can actually breathe. All that water, yeah, might have a little heat in it. It might be minor to you, but it might be major to your fish. So you have a little hole within the aquarium cover, and usually this comes with the what you call it, the filtration, the implementation of a hang on the back filter. You have some little creases at the corner in which the air within the aquarium actually, comes up. So it helps to not to trap the air that exists within the aquarium itself, right? But those persons who have sponge filter, they don't have any hang on the back, so therefore the entire aquarium is covered. The aquarium itself is missing the element of the wind. And that is important, although you might have what I call it uh, filtration system that actually aerate the water, but a little air blowing on top of the water help to cool down the water itself. So in a sense, your fish is feeling happy. So at times you can think about that. You can think about actually easing off the lid of the aquarium. You know, allow the water to get some breeze, some fresh breeze. Probably you might have AC in your house or the fan. It depends. I might say you're talking foolishness, man. Yeah, man, it works, right? Because remember, the wind that is blowing the natural air it serves as a positive to your aquarium itself, right? The inside of the aquarium, the temperature inside is influenced greatly by the temperature outside, right? Okay, as I wrap up, I'm going to wrap up now, right? Joe being here is a sign that I need to wrap up, and I wrap up fast. The circulation system in the fish room and in most part do influence the internal temperature of the aquarium. Now, it is important, right, that it is important to remember, sorry, yes, it's important to remember that warm air rises and cold air sinks. So therefore, you add the aquarium and you pull it up to the brim, like about half inch to the top, and you have a cover on it. And the cover is like seal cover. You don't really have much splash effect. Well, they have a lot of splash effect on the cover, but you don't really have any, air blowing on there. I like my aquariums to have that space, to have that space on it, so air, natural air can actually blow. I know there are some mechanisms you can actually employ within your aquarium, keeping an aquarium. Yes, boss. Good, good, good. I'm ending now. I'm ending about in a minute. I'm gonna be ending, Joe. All right, cool. So it's all about ventilation. You should actually try as best as possible. If you can't afford to I call it now, get a complete, I call it, cool down of the entire room, it will be interesting, or should I say, it should be, yeah, it should pay off its dividends if you can actually cool down the equipment that exists within the fish room. That too can help to reduce the temperature within that space. Now, in Jamaica, unless we live, let's say, in the rural parts of Jamaica, where you have a lot of trees, I'm not around a lot of concrete buildings like where I'm at right now, and a lot of concrete buildings, houses where I'm at, right? So, the entire street is made out of, concrete sidewalks, you have paved roads and buildings tall up in the air. So as a result, what you find that the community get warm during the day. The heat is trapped, the houses, it's as if, boy, it's like an oven during the day. So, you have to be mindful of that. A point to note, I have some ponds outside, and this is like going off tangent, right? I have some ponds outside, and my aquarium fish are not really consuming much food right now because of time. Hey, what going on with the fridge? I think him just step out. I think he just pass. Joe just pass fridge. Yeah, man, he just pass. So in cut out him gone somewhere. I think he's gonna get some donuts, right? He needs to keep up his weight. I think he's going like probably about 350. So Joe Munoz needs to keep up his weight with some donuts. And then he's gonna work them off tomorrow. Right, Joe? With some milkshake. All right, cool. So, but Joe and yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah, black skirt textures, they're cool. I like them. I'm presently having them in I have some of them in my pond right now, run. They are like getting fat, the eggs are developing, and then I like probably a month or two, I place them into an aquarium where I have my mechanism. I did a video on breeding black skirt tetra. Surprisingly, that video has been really, really good on YouTube, right? And persons are actually giving kudos to that, right? I'm going to be using that mechanism to breed my black skirt tetra because black skirt tetra, live um, excatterers, sorry, excatterers, they breed best in warmer temperature. So that's it for now. As far as my goldfish is concerned, my goldfish, I don't have a large male or female. I know that they would probably yeah. Topless aquarium tend to stay a little bit more cooler, right, Ron? Than that of than covers. However, fish like fish like uh tiger barbs, right? And some embuma and peacocks and filament barbs, they tend to jump, especially let's say the water is getting a little bit too warm for them. They jump a lot, right? So that's where ventilation comes in, one. Where we keep our water to that place where the fish is loving it, so they don't need to jump out to check out other water spaces to see how they are doing, right? Okay, yeah, the water parameters. Yes, that's true. And funny enough, Brian, the water parameters is also influenced by temperature, right? So having the incorrect temperature circulating within the fish room, or circulating within the area in which you keep your aquarium, can influence whether or not the minerals within the rocks within the aquarium actually start to react within the aquarium, start to influence the pH, start to influence the breeding of aquarium fish, start to influence several different dynamics as to your even the poop itself of the fish, right? Can be influenced as a result of the temperature, because the poop will quicker will break down quicker with a warmer water, while in a colder type of environment, the poop will like be malignant, or should I say, stay there and lingers a long time before it actually dissipates and all that, right? Yeah, I like that. As I said before, Ron, I'm going to be checking out your channel as soon as I leave here, which is less than 10 seconds. Right, so I'll be over by your channel. I'll be checking out some of your stuff. For those persons who are new to my channel, remember to hit that like, subscribe, and share. Right, I'm here every Saturday night between 8 o'clock and 9 o'clock. Well, usually, right? Tonight I'm going over a little bit. And to tell you the truth, I was there thinking about what topic to actually talk about during the course of this week. And like since evening, I've been saying that, let's talk about ventilation, because that's a concern that someone shared with me in regards to the installation of his aquarium. So I appreciate you all for being here, right? I appreciate it. Join me next week Saturday night. My algae series continues tomorrow, right? I have a piece to do. I know that it's gonna be awesome. And Matthew Moore will close us off with the algae series during the course of this week. That also promises to be well. So join me tomorrow. I appreciate you all for being here. Lunatic Fringe, thank you for popping in. I know that probably might be in the background listening for a long time, but you're just saying something, so I'm just taking it for granted that you just came in, right? I appreciate you being here, joining the crew, right? Joe, thank you for popping in. Gary Allen, Ron J, and all you others in which probably I might forget. Mary, Page, right? Ultimate Fish Keeping Show, right? Fish by Mike, right? All you guys, thank you very much for joining. I appreciate you, love. Fishman, big up yourself. Boss, that's enough. Fishman, yeah, man. Yeah, man, we learned enough something from him, right? So, yeah, yeah, boss. Big up yourself, guys. It's a little bit on the cool side in Jamaica. I'm going to join some movie with my kids right now. Peace out. Catch you next week. Love you all. 100%. Peace out. Run. Over by you now. One up, boss.